Thank you for joining us here at the Florida Chamber of Commerce. We're at our studios here in Tallahassee, and I'm joined by Representative Raschein of District 120. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Holly, we're going to jump right in on some issues that are pressing to businesses, both small and large, across our state. One of the key items that every business owner pays attention to are the taxes that they have to pay every day. And one issue that's hitting particularly retailers, but anyone with a storefront in Florida, is an issue known as e-fairness. Now, as we know, businesses who are investing in the state of Florida are compelled to collect sales tax as any other business. But what we're finding is consumers are buying online from out-of-state retailers and not having to pay the sales tax. And what that really does is put them at an economic disadvantage and really forces their investments to go for naught when they become those showrooms. So if you could share with our members what your thoughts are on e-fairness and where you see it going.
That's a really good question, Brad. I'm in favor of online businesses being treated the same as brick and mortar businesses. It's all about fairness and playing on a level field. When it comes to, for example, buying key lime pie, Kermit's Key Lime shop should be able to compete with the Amazons out there. Mm-hmm. And I feel it's just common sense.
Right. So Holly, as you know, at the Florida Chamber, making Florida more competitive is a core goal of the Florida Chamber. Not only do we want to compete with our neighbors, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and across the nation, but really the goal is to be competitive globally. Trade certainly is our avenue there, and if you look at what the driver of growth in trade in Florida, our goal here at the Trade and Logistics Study, which we released a couple of years ago, is to double Florida origin exports. The key part of that is Florida's manufacturing sector. And obviously, if we've got tankers leaving half empty, the goal is to fill them with Florida-made goods. Now, there is a key component that is a helper potentially in some legislation this year, and that's eliminating a tax on the manufacturing equipment that manufacturers buy. Manufacturers have kind of a unique place in our state. There's 17,000 companies, and they employ 300,000 Floridians, which is a great part of our labor force. Now, the unique part of this is that in Florida, when we look to remove this obstacle really for the manufacturers, is it helps them to not only invest, but it encourages companies from out of state to invest in Florida, because we certainly have the ports, we have the mechanism to deliver their goods around the globe. Tell us where you see the reduction or the addition, if you will, of the incentive for these manufacturers this year in this year's legislative session.
And Brad, it's important to note that Florida is one of the only states in the nation that still has a tax on manufacturing equipment. And we really need to be on equal footing when it comes to attracting businesses and manufacturers to our state. Manufacturing jobs tend to be higher paid positions to the tune of 122% of the annual state wage. And we, the Florida legislature, needs to support policy that encourages that kind of job growth.
Well, and as you know, there's another issue that's always pressing in front of businesses, and that's lawsuits. And we know that Florida's legal climate currently ranks 41st worst in our nation. Now, as the Florida Chamber, our goal is to bring us out of being in that bottom rung into the top rung of states across our nation that will basically send the signal that Florida is a great place to do business across the decision-making board when somebody considers moving their business to Florida. But more importantly, for the businesses that are here, we know that having that ranking costs both our families and our economy a lot of money that's unnecessary. And we know that there's a host of issues that are being considered in Tallahassee this year, from the ability of juries to see the whole story of what the costs are, what real costs are in a lawsuit for recovery, to the recovery aspect of what business owners who have paid for insurance can cover in a policy. So we know some of those hidden and phantom costs are out there. Would you please share with our members kind of your thoughts on legal reform in general and what you hope to accomplish?
This is definitely an important issue that we need to address as a state. I'm in support of reform that will provide small and large businesses alike the protections necessary to, one, make payroll, and two, turn a profit. It's about equity, making sure businesses are safe to do what they do best, and that's create jobs and grow the economy.
Right. Well, Holly, I just want to thank you for joining us today in our studio. Before we go, are there any last thoughts that you'd like to share with the members of the Florida Chamber in your district?
Well, I would like to add that if you're not plugged into the Chamber's grassroots efforts, then you need to be. It's where I get a lot of my information on these sorts of issues, and I look forward to working alongside the Chamber during the 2013 legislative session.
Representative Raschein, thank you so very much. We appreciate you coming by.
Bye.
Take care.